Hello, hope everyone's doing well. This is the Secrets of the Abyss character review event recap. So we got some new French girls and one former American girl that classifies as French. I mean, Bois Belleau, formerly Bella Wood. And it seems like more of a shorter event, nothing too crazy. We do have the anniversary stuff for the EN 7th anniversary. I'll cover that after the girls. Yeah, it seems like a pretty quiet event, nothing too crazy. This is one of the few events where I'd be confident in saying that if you wanted to skip and spend all your pulls on the wishing well, probably be a good idea. Because no one here is world breaking. There's no one crazy. There's no like a Perseus, there's nothing for Aquila. No one crazy like that. So let's get into it with the girls. So first up is Messena. She is a Iris Libre battle cruiser. Got okay firepower. AA. She is based off of a older design, so her not having great A makes sense. She comes with the typical French preload on her main gun. You start the battle with one ready to fire off immediately. Cool. And she's pretty unique with her barrage because it seems like she can just spam it. So when one of your ships in your main fleet fires their main guns, she gets a stack of her unique buff, Lucky Target, and each stack increases her luck by 4 and her main gun crit rate and crit damage by 4%, up to a max stack of 3. She also gets some additional bonuses when she gets max stacks of that buff. So she gets the Beyond Blessed status, and she fires her special barrage. And also, if she has any stacks of this, and her HP falls below 30%, she gets an emergency evasion boost. And it increases based on how low her HP is, up to a max of 15% evasion boost. And if she has the Beyond Blessed, so that's having max stats, she gets a cap of 30%. It's quite dodgy. Now with the spammy part, whenever she fires her own main guns, or when the Fortunate Fire special barrage activates, she has a 40% chance to activate the Fortunate Fire barrage. So you see it procs off itself. And then each stack of the Lucky Target increases the activation rate by 16%. So after a couple turns of shooting off your guns, you can kind of spam that out. And it appears that this barrage can only activate up to 3 times every 5 seconds, so it can't get insane, but can get her firing her main gun and then 3 instances of that barrage being shot out, which is pretty cool. They're a unique thing. So if you have a rather quick main gun on her, seems like that is a good way to just spam that. Good for just clearing large groups of enemies or hitting the same target a bunch of times. Be cool if there was like a debuff on the Fortunate Fire barrage that would just debuff the enemies, and you should apply it to a ton of enemies, or you could stack it really heavy on one. But not the case. So it is what it is. But had a lot of battle cruisers, and I mean the spamming of the barrage is very cool, but it doesn't seem any better than what we've already gotten recently. Next up is Bois Belleau, former Independence class light carrier, Bella Wood. And unfortunately, it does not appear she has many references to her being Independence class prior to this, other than one of her skills. Voice lines seem to be absent of any of that. Got pretty good AA and aviation. And there's always the hard part with the light carriers, especially if they're in the Independence class, is Independence retrofit is so good. And for other light carriers, you already have Unicorn, who is incredibly good. It's like, okay, they have to bring a lot to the table. at base. And unfortunately, it does not appear Bois Belleau is bringing the boys to the yard. She's good stats, good stat padding, but unfortunately not anything fantastic, but not bad. Just a good, solid option if you just need some more AA coverage in your main field. For hard stages that have a high aviation requirement and a high AA requirement, could be a good option there. Or if they require you to bring a light carrier and you haven't got Independence retrofit, or using her in the other fleet, there's some potential usage there. So she buffs her own AA in aviation by 15%, and if she has a Eel Union, Iris Libre, or Vishaya Dominion aircraft equipped, so US or French, this increases her aircraft efficiency by 15%. So it just gives a nice flat buff for all of her gear, which is pretty easy to do. She has either fighters or torpedo bombers. Well, Hellcats, Bearcats, Tiger Cats. There's plenty of good US-based planes. And for torpedo bombers, you could do the Avenger, do the Sky Raider, the Sky Pirate, or my personal choice would be the Brigot. That is the French torpedo bomber that is available in the core data shop. And that one's really good. It's got pretty good stats overall. And also, it does something pretty cool, where it also acts as an interceptor. So it adds to your AA capabilities of your fleet. So that's why I like using those. Previously, I just used the Barracuda, because the Wyvern's super expensive. So if I don't have extra Wyverns, I will use the Brigot. So I get some options for getting that buff. And she also has a emergency damage reduction. So when her HP falls below 20% or results damage taken, for 20 seconds, decrease ship's damage taken by 25% and set her burn damage taken to 0. So she's able to keep herself alive long enough to make it to the next fight. And hopefully you have some healers that have some preloads or can heal her pretty early on. It just seems like they have a lot of healing skills that, or survival skills, that the activation percentage is so low. Just like, okay. She's not going to burn to death, at least. Still, that's a little too low for comfort. And her other skill, which I like the name, Divine Deeds Done Dreamily. Parody of Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. When she launches an airstrike, launch an initial special airstrike, and no special gimmick for her. She has decreased loading time of her first 2 airstrikes. So the first 2 airstrikes load 50% faster. That's pretty cool. So she can get the AA fighters up really rapidly. And also have torpedo bombers going out and doing some damage. Not a preload, but it's pretty good. This was standard for Kage and Kaga. Those are 3-4, so not a bad skill. It's nothing fantastic. So good for AA coverage, but Independence is in the core data shop. It's always there. You have to retrofit her, but she just provides so much utility. And her sisters just kind of get the short end of the stick, just because they made the lead ship incredibly strong. Now, next up is La Hardi, probably my favorite kit-wise out of all the new girls. So she is a destroyer. Got pretty good torpedo stat of 403 at level 125. Okay AA at 189. Firepower is not terrible, 128. All this is still at 125. She clears the threshold for having good ASW of 203, so I'm happy with that. Got very good main gun efficiency at 150. Other than that, just typical stuff, like comes with a preload. She does get the extra stats from having auxiliary gear equipped. It's nice. Get like extra HP from having stuff like the washing machine, the proper name for it. The like high maneuverability gear, whatever it's called. Steering wheel and the mount. And it's just a pretty cool rigging. Normally I don't like the Gundams, the mechas, but it's a pretty cool ghostly mecha. It's neat. So she buffs her own firepower, her main gun, and torpedo efficiency. So even higher main gun efficiency, which is nice. Up to 170%. That's pretty good. And if the frontmost ship in your vanguard is French of some variety, increases your whole vanguard's damage dealt with their cannons, so their guns, by 15%. Isn't hard to do. There's rest. You run the Hardi in the frontmost position and have her dodge tank things. Give her the cosmic kicks. Give her the washing machine, and just have her dodge tank. There's a time barrage every 20 seconds. And when the barrage fires, if she has some kind of French gear equipped, it makes the barrage stronger and also adds a speed debuff to enemies hit. So 30% debuff for 6 seconds, that's pretty good. Doesn't stack with anything else, so you can't combo that with some Arc Royal or Centaur. But decent enough to make it easier to hit enemies that otherwise be quite evasive. Just makes your main fleet take less damage. And she also has a timed damage reduction for the ship in your service fleet, so it does not apply to submarines. But whoever has the lowest HP percentage takes 10% less damage for 10 seconds every 20 seconds. And once per battle, 30 seconds after battle starts, or when the HP of any ship in your service fleet falls below 7% as a result of damage taken, increases the Hardy's evasion by 30% and speed by 6, and decreases the back barrage activation interval of the skill Dreadnought Pro, so that's her first skill, her red skill, to 10 seconds. So it halves it. So, I mean, the most interesting out of the bunch, I know this is the third one we covered, but if you were going to go get one, it would be Hardi, and fortunately she is a map drop and also available in the event shop. Next up we have Duquesne. She is a heavy cruiser of the Iris Libre. Stats wise, not the most fantastic. She is an elite. Her HP is kind of low. Firepower is okay. Torpedo's pretty low. AA is alright. Nothing special other than torpedo preload, which is pretty standard these days. So she gets evasion buffs. So starts out with a 30% buff, and every 2 times she fires her main guns, increases her evasion rate by 10% for 7 seconds. So she is fairly decent as a tank, which makes up for her low HP. Now, her second skill, the Blade in a New Beginning. I think I understand it. I might be completely wrong, but this is just how I'm interpreting it. So forgive me if this is not how it actually works. So each sortie, or I should say each battle, because when I think of sorties, I think of you entering a map. That to me is a sortie. A battle is when you go to a mob on a tile and fight them directly. That's a battle. But in the sortie itself, when the fleet she is in sinks an enemy fleet, she gains 40% extra damage dealt, a maximum of 3 stacks. So I'm assuming that this carries over, if I'm understanding this right. I could be completely off on this one. But so she'd have to be in the mob fleet to actually take care of this. Otherwise, yeah, you can put her in the boss fleet and she'll be dodgy, but not making good use of this buff. Not making any use of this buff. Beat the boss, 33% damage dealt afterwards, but unless you're in Chapter 15 where you fight multiple bosses, that's not really going to help you because the stage ends. So I'm guessing that in each stage, after every battle, where you defeat the whole fleet, you get the damage buff and it carries over to the next battle. That's what I'm thinking. Now, in each battle, every time someone in your surface fleet, so not submarines, sinks an enemy, she gains a buff for firepower, torpedo, and accuracy by 5% each. Maximum stack of 3. So she has buffs that carry over in between each battle, and also buffs that stack during the battle. I think that's how she works. It's quite confusing, like just the wording on it just felt a little off. A lot of mouth spaghetti going on. I mean, I'm gonna give her points away for being confusing. But she's an elite, she's more of a collection. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of the designs of the event in general, particularly hers. I feel like this is like a Cleopatra projected design. That's the vibe I'm getting from her. And lastly, we have our point accumulation ship, so another elite. According to YouTube video, pronounced Duguay-Trouin. I think I was saying Duquesne. But she's an Iris Libre light cruiser. And I'm not a fan of the design. Let this be a skin. This is like, I always got Halloween vibes from this event. I feel like this was a repurposed Halloween event that they kicked out of the way because Halloween is now taken over by Tempesta. That's what I got from this event. Like, this definitely feels like it could be more of a Halloween skin. But I feel like that's been a lot of designs. That's what I felt about Taiho Meta. What I felt about this event. I'm sure there's other examples I just can't remember. But she's got pretty decent torpedo. I mean, she's no soccer destroyer, but 335, OKAA, 305, it's still in a decent range. Alright, ASW, she's a light cruiser, so it's not going to be insane. Of 143. Standard layout, she does come with a torpedo preload, so that's pretty nice. She gets extra damage when she is using... So at the start of battle, she recovers 10% of her max HP just instantly, so bonus points for that. It'd be cool if it was like 3% for the whole fleet, but we'll take it. If she is a main gun that uses HE ammo equipped, she does an extra 10% damage with the HE ammo and increase her damage against light and medium armor enemies by 15%. So definitely seems focused on dealing with enemy destroyers, light cruisers, that kind of thing. Definitely wants to hurt them. Also, she gets increased evasion for the first 20 seconds of the battle, and she has special barrage that activates every 15 seconds, and every other time bout, it's a 50% chance. She also fires a additional wave of her equipped torpedoes. Now, because it says and, I'm wondering if it's when the barrage activates and not like the double torpedo skill, which fires 2 systems. I'm thinking it's tied to the barrage. But, I mean, as just hanging out and dealing with light and medium armor enemies with their HE ammo, seems to be specialized for that, staying alive. But other than that, just another collection ship. The flaps. Not a fan of the flaps. So, as this is the anniversary, we do get our own wishing wells. This is our build a banner. You can select from the 3 types of pools and select 2 units from inside those pools. You can only select units inside the same pool. So you can't do 1 light, 1 heavy. Allow that. If I want to light, I can pick any one of these girls, but I have to pick 2 from the same one. So do like Bristol and Cooper. Now what's nice about the wishing well is it helps you catch up on girls you might have missed before. For the heavy and special pool, all of the permanently added URs are available for selection. Personally, I would go for someone else just because you can use the pity to get them. But good options in the heavy. Rishi is pretty good. That's kind of Veneto or How. I like those. In special, you've got people like Perseus, always a great option. Got archer fish. A lot of submarines are also here, so if you want to work on your submarine fleet, it's a good time to do so. U-101, U-81. It girls like Aquila. Probably not Essex because you can get her for free from the ticket, but she is an option available. So yeah, it definitely helps you catch up some girls you might have missed. And I think the cutoff is girls that were added permanently in March. I believe that is the cutoff. Tell me. March 26th. There we go. And anyone who has a long condition cannot appear. So you can't add ships like Ayanami, Akashi, Wichita, any of those. Any of those ships in the archives you need to get a certain amount of stars in, breaking your other ship girls, those aren't available. Also have memory lanes. This is a summary of your statistics. So it shows when you started at, what server you're in, how long you've been here, storm furniture, decor tokens, collection rate, where you're at in the campaign, OPSI, what guild you're in, show you who you oath first. Also, the first character to show up here is whoever had your secretary slot before maintenance of the anniversary. So I apologize for not notifying this. I have done so in years past, and I forgot this year. Those are your oaths, how many ship girls you've oathed, skins you have, and then a lot of the rewards for clearing SP stages and the order frames for your secondary icon. There is also the special login campaign, so as you go along, get various rewards. Day 1, the anniversary coin doesn't do anything, just collectible. Cat box, get a little chat thing that just says 7th anniversary on your chat messages. Prints for PR7, little anniversary secretary frame, and lastly you have the anniversary ticket. Now I believe this includes Essex, Montpellier, only 2 I remember. No Shro's in there, but I wouldn't recommend getting No Shro because you can farm her elsewhere. I think Vittorio Veneto is one option, but honestly probably Essex just to get her retrofitted if you don't have her yet. We also have the rally request, so it's just send out your UID, and then as you collect missions, or complete missions, other people complete missions, get some rewards. I've been slacking on mine, so I apologize to anyone who's paired up with me. Rewards aren't anything special, but it's nice little add-ons. The chat stuff and the chat frame only last 30 days, so they will go away. If you get them, it kind of sucks, but it is what it is. There's also the mini game. So as you complete stages of this, get closer and closer to getting the last piece, which is the item required for retrofitting Essex. We'll finish off her extra retrofit. Actually, she has one more stage after we use this, but helps her out. So even if you don't have Essex yet, you get to do this. And it's a very simple mini game. You just say, hey, yes or no to what's being thrown. So, no to lemons, yes to planes, and as you get them right, you get extra HP. You get them wrong, you lose HP, or you just don't go. And this just kind of carries on ad nauseum. So it's not a very exciting minigame, but it's simple enough. And let's say you don't want to wait to go through and do all the HP. You can just hit exit, even if you just started the game, and it will give you the rewards for participating. So, like all mini games, it's pretty easy just to kind of cheese. There you go. So, try it once, see if you like it. If you don't like it, then just do a little cheese strat and just bypass it. Not have to worry about it. And lastly, we have the Azur Lane offline event for USS New Jersey, August 30th. to the 31st. Runs from 10 to 5. And it seems like the main day will be on the 30th. But it seems like the schedule will also be pretty busy for the 31st as well. Got rewards, little goodies, little contests, stamp rally, that kind of stuff. So if you want to go, you can check out the details at Azur Lane 7th, as the number 7, ph.com/FES, FES. All the details there. Please note you need to reserve with the actual Azur Lane event through the Eventbrite. That reservation is free. They're just trying to make sure they have a safe amount of people going. And you also need to purchase your ticket for the museum through the museum's website. One thing to note, that if you don't manage to make it, and you already bought your ticket, that ticket is good for a year. So if you can't go this time, you want to just visit New Jersey later, you'll still have your ticket. So if you can't make it, don't worry, the ticket's still good from a year when you bought it. Transportation details. Go as a reservation. I believe the ticket, the museum is $30. Got my phone. Some gifts. So it's a hand fan, boarding pass, stamp booklet, wristband. This wristband is your unproof reentry, so when you get it, keep it on. The event themed bag, you can carry your stuff in. Stamp rally, you get a scratcher code that has coins, oil, food for your dorm. I'm assuming dorm furniture. You also get a transparent chibi character card. There's a raffle for standees and key charms. And like aboard USS Hornet, there is also a postcard. Also have a cake that is only available on the 30th. And some cookies. Little snack station. And you can check out Jersey's little invitation. It's like a little mini tour. And she fires a secondary off, so it's pretty cool. And just rules, they're gonna take pictures of you if you're there, just so you know. If you sign up, you're consenting to have your picture taken or using video. Just behave yourselves, don't be a dick, don't break stuff, don't be climbing on stuff that's clearly not meant to be climbed on. The ship is very old. Spare parts only exist on the other museum ships, so hard to replace. Nothing to note, they can't bring a backpack, so leave your backpack in your hotel room because they're not allowed in. And as is museum ship, it is old, there are steep staircases, so be careful. They don't know where you're walking, don't fall, because there is a chance of you hurting yourself. And also, if there is a massive blizzard or something, they may cancel the event. So, just a heads up. But it's going to be fun. I will be there on the 30th for most of the time. See when I get tired. And the 31st, I will not be there, but instead I will be touring USS Olympia, or I fly home. So that'll be fun. Yeah, that's all for that. So that was Secrets of the Abyss and the Azur Lane 7th anniversary. Kind of meh in this whole one. Like nothing other than the New Jersey offline event, which I hope we do more of. Not really a big fan of like the skins or New Ship Girls. Wish Bois Belleau had more references to her being formerly EU Union. You know, I have to see if she has sortie lines of anyone, but kind of meh. Not too excited. I'll have to see what JP Anniversary holds for us. But thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Happy anniversary. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.